Well, so we have to move on, and we have a lot more we can give you. We are ready to do the newspapers. Mama V and Derek Ekosam are always the great brains behind the content we produce here. Good morning to you, Mama V. Since yesterday has been having...
You did amazing yesterday.
Thank you.
I don't know. I
all
think
through
from
the good
work. We did something not too long ago, which sent you to the Independence Square. You did fantastic, and I think that we give it all to you.
Ah, thank you, thank you.
When things are happening, you are the one who go out.
Yeah. Oh no, I think that's
more
it's
respect.
Also because
I think I have amazing people that I work with. Maxwell Agbaba is a fantastic guy.
Yeah.
Put him out there and he will deliver. Komla Adum as well.
Yeah.
Joseph Akable. I mean, I enjoy working with all of you guys.
And she has this terrible no holds bad attitude. Takes no for an answer.
It's the work, man. It's the work.
Takes no for an answer, and that's what we all need to imbibe to make sure we get the great content.
Fantastic. I don't know. You wanted to speak to the former Vice President Temisa Arthur,
yeah.
And he's such a nice gentleman. He didn't have any issues with it. And I saw the security guy. I said,
yeah, you saw the security guy, yeah.
But
and he was bulky. So.
Yeah, and then he turned. Oh my God! I mean, he's.
I think some of the things that you learn on the job is, it's not how long you do an interview, who got it first, and what the person says is enough. Yeah. I remember back in the day when I interviewed J. John Rawlings the first time after he left office. Yeah, I think he was going to the National Reconciliation Commission. He was from there. Nobody had gotten him. I went to his house. I climbed his wall.
You climbed his wall.
So he saw me. He said I should come. I was the only one he talked to. So that's good. So sometimes it goes with a job. So.
Yeah.
But yesterday you could find that, I mean, sincerely, the crowd was not only made of people who were pro-NDC or the progressive so-called. I think neutrals also joined. Yeah. So
I was a bit surprised you spoke to Dr. Kobe Mensah.
Yeah, I was surprised I saw him. That's how come I went to. I was surprised.
Okay, well, but it's a day after that, and the question that I asked yesterday when they were done with the protest was, and so what? You get what I mean? Like, so what next? What next? But I know that we have two issues related in courts. And
then the U.S. Embassy too has issued a statement. Of course, we've had a lot of commentary on that statement because there's a commentary that it doesn't sync with what the content or the articles of the agreement were. So because if you vividly scrutinize the contents of the articles, it's at variance to what the U.S. Embassy will say we're not building, but there are phrases that says you'll be building facilities, etc. And so, if you're building facilities, what are they? Where are you going to build them? On existing land, on which we have existing infrastructure? You know, it has to be a bare land somewhere.
I've actually seen. Okay, let's go on. I'm sure that we can share details of. Yeah. Let's do the Daily Graphic newspaper. The Daily Graphic newspaper. Front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper, GNPC justifies 2018 work plan and budget, reflect on challenges confronting country's development. That's a call by the clergy, comes with Most Reverend Philip Name, the president of the Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference. That's a picture of him along this headline. And then also Reverend Dr. Victor Oko Abe, acting moderator of the General Assembly of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana. And there's the cross. You can't miss it. It's on the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper.
Which cross
tomorrow,
is it? Or just to signify?
Just to signify, we're in a very holy period, and tomorrow will be really special. But Koku Anyudoho slapped with 3 charges. That story is on page 20. Beyond the treason, the charge of treason, what else? We know that he wasn't granted bail. They said they wanted to go through his phone, but there was a password on the phone. Later on, he spoke to his lawyers, and then he gave them access to the phone. But I guess, so Chris Akume is one of Koku's
one of 2 lawyers.
One of Koku's lawyers.
The other is Victor?
And then Victor Adao.
Okay.
Adaudu,
Did you speak to Victor yesterday?
He will join us on the show this morning. But he said they wanted to go through his phone to see, to track evidence or something like that. And it's interesting the way he put it. So let's see, this story on page 20 says, the police have slapped the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Koku Anyidoho, with 3 charges of causing fear and alarm and treason felony following his alleged remarks that President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo will be overthrown in a civil revolt. A statement signed by the Director General of Public Affairs of the Ghana Police Service, Assistant Commissioner of Police, David Eklu, said Mr. Anyidoho was in the custody of the police and due process would be followed in handling the case. It said the police administration are taking notes of the high public interest following Mr. Anyidoho's arrest by officers of the Criminal Investigations Department. And according to the statement, the police officers were dispatched to the International Press Center in Accra to arrest Mr. Anyidoho, who, by his statement and conduct, had published statement likely to cause fear and alarm to the public, and also endeavored to carry out by unlawful means an enterprise which usurped the executive power of government. So this is like hitting the core. That's not all. You can read the rest of it. It also talks about the chaos. And this is where I want to, before we continue with the papers, or perhaps let's finish the papers. We'll come back to the high-handedness, the kind of force that they exerted on one of our colleagues. And I'm very angry this morning. I think that yesterday I was still soaking in the extent to which they had beaten up Lateef Idris. We'll share the story so far with you. So let's still stick with the newspaper, and then the banner headline really that we can't easily get rid of this story. Demo against Ghana-US Pact, 100th march in protest. Defense cooperation agreement not for military base. Abdul Hamid still insisting. On the back page of the newspaper, perhaps the center spread. Center spread is integrated Airtel Tigo money service to deliver super value, and the new car maintenance facility opened on the Spintex Road. Also, GMPC justifies 2018 work plan and budgets. Back page of the Daily Graphic. Ashanti Gold maintain perfect record and Kotoko fall at Takwa. That's where my interest is. So they lost 1-0
against Godai.
Against TNA. No. Which is the other team? Mediama SC scored a late penalty to secure a 1-0 victory over Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Yeah, Mediama. Yeah, that's the team to look at, I guess. Wafa beat Adriana at Soga Copper. Also, another sporting headline here. But the thing is, Benedict will be here. If you missed any of these goals, he's going to tell you the story, and so that you can relive the moments. Except that if you're a Kumasi Asante Kotoko fan, it's not so much of a good morning right now. Sorry, mate. Ukuma Pema. This one is 1-0. That's it for the Daily Graphic.
There was no more. Only one. Well, let's move on. We have the Ghanaian Times. On the front page of the Ghanaian Times, we have Wino Gugri, and of course, all of us heard what the chants were yesterday. Protesters chant as they demonstrate against Ghana-US. It is actually the Ghana-US Military Cooperation Agreement. Ghana-US Defense Pact. Koku Anyidoho cautioned for treason. The story is on page 12, and we've told you time and time again about this story. He's still locked up behind the BNI cells. Ensure compliance of maritime regulation in regional waters. Dr. Baumia. And Mama, I have to tell you, 3 Koreans were abducted by pirates around the Keta area, along the shores, along Keta.
When you say pirates?
Yeah.
As in local pirates?
No. Pirates who along the West African, the Gulf of Guinea area, and
they are so close. You said Sogakopo.
Yeah, no, Keta. They came into our waters and they abducted They kidnapped 3
That's how
Koreans.
easy it is.
Yes, but that's how easy we give.
They're getting our fish. They're taking everything.
It's been reported by.
They're sharing everything that we have with us.
Great.
And they're giving us the bad name as well.
Yeah. So I think that's something perhaps we can talk about if we have a better lead on the subject. I just got
your friend, the maritime.
Yes, Dr. Kamaldeen. As we need to talk to him when we have better lead on the subject. Good morning to you, Michaela.
You can give us a good lead. Oh yes, good morning, Michaela.
She's looking great.
Nye. She is back. We want to say a special welcome back to Michaela. You'll see her signature on the show tomorrow. It's that Friday.
All right. So basically, those are the stories we have on the front page, and then we have on the back page sports stories. Let's forget about the rest of the sports stories
because Koroko.
It's not Koroko. So
let's go to the headline.
Let's go to the center spread. Ghanaians must sacrifice for betterment.
Koroko fall to Media Mataka. That's the headline of that page.
Ghanaians must sacrifice for betterment of nation. And this the story in the center spread. You have pictures there of the boss or the head of the Church of Pentecost in Ghana, Apostle Opoku-Nyina, the Right Reverend Dr. Daniel Sylvanus Tonto, who is the Anglican Bishop of the Accra Diocese, and the Reverend Dr. Joyce Aye. So those are the stories we have. Let me quickly just do the Daily Guide. The Daily Guide newspaper has the front page story. And you know who hot. Court orders phone seizure, Mahama storms BNI. I love the way Daily Guide always puts their headlines. No U.S. military base, government clears air. Is it government? It's more like the U.S. embassy. That was the initial. And then Ghana joins top peaceful nations. Let's go to the center spread. Is a News One pullout. R. Kelly accused of grooming underage girl as a sex pet.
It's more like again. I mean,
this one was following a BBC Three documentary in which they tried to do a recount of stories and narrations from his ex-girlfriend, and so it's not as if it's just a narration. So you really have to catch the man in the act. You know, sometimes the law is a bit funny. So my career not inspired by chasing girls. There's one artist called Kofi Carter, and apparently he's a US-based Ghanaian musician. Have you ever heard of him?
His name is what?
Kofi Carter.
I know Kofi Kinata.
No. It's Kofi Carter.
So what does he do?
He's a musician.
In the U.S.
Based in the United States of America.
Ghanaian, like he does Ghana music.
He's originally called Hackman Kofi Owusu-Agyeman II.
Nah, maybe, where's his face?
That's him, center spread. The man in the yellow.
My career not inspired by chasing girls.
Yeah. He lives in the United States of America.
Oh, they
please,
like
all those in the diaspora who are Ghanaians, good morning to all of you. We love all of you.
Michael Amenin, good morning.
Michael
is a very good friend in the UK. We say good morning to you. May God bless your hustle. May Easter be good.
Yeah.
Amen.
Volta ECG gets new boss. A gym fanatic, Gold K. Who is this one? Okay, he's also a Ghanaian-born, UK-based Afrobeat musician.
What are they doing in Ghana?
It says UK-born Anaki Ajikum. He's a semi-finalist of Britain's Got Talent 2013 season. Okay, he still hasn't gotten the break yet. He's featured on a number of UK TV shows and reality shows, including BBC Altogether now. He's one of the most talented Ghanaians in the UK, making Ghana proud out there. Okay. He has a new song. Do you know it?
That's for UK. The one that we know,
it's
most
Fuse
of us. It's Fuse ODG.
And then Reggie Zippy and the other one. What do they call them?
That one. Even that one, but it's because of the talent show that they got onto.
Reggie and Bolly, yeah.
Reggie and Bolly, yes.
Yeah.
It's Reggie and Bolly. So what's it? Gold K. Maybe we shall remember you.
We're told that he's one of the artists in the UK making Ghana proud out there.
We haven't seen yet, so we'll be tracking you. Kindly send us messages. If you've got a message you want to send across to us, send us a regular text message and a WhatsApp message as well. Let's do the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Front page of the Dispatch. NDC guru on alleged American base. We should calm down. It will be one of NDC's 2020 campaign messages already. This is 2018, y'all. Anglo Gold Ashanti has been untruthful. That is Peter Mewu speaking there. And there's a Derek call Sam, our producer, this is what you do for us. We want to hear Peter Amewu speak so strongly and hitting it, you know, like straightforward. We're going to pull that, you know, voice, and we will play it when we have. Hopefully, we'll be able to do that before we rise and make way for sports. But still on the front page of the Daily Dispatch, our economy is heading for disaster. Ghana is broke, according to the Daily Finance CEO. So that story and more in the Daily Dispatch newspaper today, Roland. The Business Finder newspaper. We'll continue with the Business Finder, and that will be a wrap for us, really. We'll do the online. So the Business Finder, front page, EcoBank, 11 others ready ahead of Bank of Ghana's deadline for 400 million Ghana cedis recapitalization. Charlie, EcoBank, you are a big brother, so as for 400 million, it's nothing to you. No wonder you're ready. Who else is ready? So the banks are EcoBank, GCB, Barclays, Stanbic, and Standard Chartered Bank.
They are ready.
All Tier 1 banks. They have shareholder funds of 902 million Ghana cedis, 1.05 billion Ghana cedis, 979 million Ghana cedis, 889 million, and 927 million Ghana cedis, respectively. It goes according to the way I mentioned the banks. So you've got to fill in the blanks, like rule the line. So for instance, EcoBank is the 902, and then GCB is the 1.05 billion. Barclays is the 979. Stanbic is 889, and then Standard Chartered is 927. Charlie, they are robbing it just like that. When others are like, they can't find their feet.
Others are negative.
So shareholders' funds is the balance sheet's value of the shareholders' interest in a company. The items within the shareholders' funds are stated capital, capital surplus, income surplus, reserves, and retained profit. You can read all about it.
Wow.
In the paper this morning. It gives me some kind of, you know, assurance when the Bank of Ghana says that, wait a minute, we're being very strict, we're making revelations, but all is well. All is well. So that's the assurance. All set for Okwewu Power Gliding Festival.
Are you
is
going?
It Kwewu or Okwewu?
Well,
like,
I think the one they're mentioning in the parlance is Kwewu.
Okay.
Or Kwewu. I think it's more like Kwewu. Kwewu than
Kwewu. Am I going to Kwewu?
I think you're going.
If I'm given
you'll
an
have
assurance,
Kwewu, so you can.
Yeah, like, yeah. I know somebody who should be taking me to Kwewu, and I would not mind at all.
Yeah, that should be your husband.
Okay, now I'm shocked. Listen,
because that's what we're officially.
Roland, just keep it. We're doing the newspapers. So I said that we're going to bring back a soundbite of John Peter Amewu. Here we go with it. I'll come back with why I wanted us to play this. Let's listen.
I have a feeling that this gathering is a mere propaganda gathering. It's a propaganda gathering maybe just to send signals to Ghanaians that Anglo will be doing it differently. There is one way talking, and there's another way doing the talking. I want to believe that this is not a propaganda gathering. We have begun discussions with Andrew for the past 1 year. In the middle of the discussions, when the ministry has no idea of who becomes a contractor, Anglo singularly advertised and shortlisted 2 foreign contractors. And you are gathered here hoping to get a contract? 2 foreign contractors have already been shortlisted, and the ministry got this information 11 p.m. yesterday. This government is not against foreign companies, but all foreign mining companies that are working in this country must take note that the resources belong to Ghanaians. You don't go to South Africa and bring the black boys there. You don't go to Australia and send the black boys there. We want to entertain the white boys in our midst to work with us. But there must be equity. We no longer want to see Obuasi being overtaken by people who don't own the resources. Ghana has been mining for 100 years, and we must be able to own the capacity, the core competence to mine. If for 100 years we don't have people to do underground mining, we as well excel our country. then we are not competent in managing this country. If for 100 years as a country owning resources, we cannot have a single person to demonstrate the capacity of doing a mining in underground, then it's a pity for us as we gathered here. Anglo has an intention to build the capacity of Ghanaians, and we are all excited, but we must begin to see Ghanaians leading the drive. The Minerals Commission has been charged, and I expect them to bring me the mining list by the close of today. Construction contracts are part of the mining list. You either be with us or you are not with us. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not here to scare anybody at all. I am here to make sure that we do things properly. Today, the small-scale miners are all over. The illegal miners are all over. And if these people are not going to be absolved, or those Ghanaians who own them are going to take in charge, then I'm afraid the mining companies will not be a safe place to work in.
No who's bad. This man is brave.
John Peter Amewu. That's the natural resources
What's
minister.
the meaning of Amewu?
Check this out. So Anglo Gold actually organizes open day so they could meet potential people in the industry who could sometime get contracts and stuff like that. And that's a revelation right there.
And apparently they've already shortlisted people. So the people were just there for face.
Pretense or what?
Face.
He was livid right there.
The minister is brave.
And this is the kind of things that we as ordinary citizens want to see, because this is how we will talk. And if we see the people who are in charge speaking our language and acting, doing what, Charlie, but Ms. Amewu, we will be watching and following it. When they bring the list, we want to see what you do afterwards. But kudos to you. But this is it. Roland, today we're not going online. There are great stories online. There's Meguna in Kenya, a man who has been deported and deported again.
Oh, he's been deported, imported, deported,
exactly.
Imported. Now he's been deported. He's I think now he's in the Canadian High Commission, right?
Okay. Right now he's No, in Dubai. Okay. So this is it. We're doing this on a day that is the president's birthday. So happy birthday to you, Mr. President. We would like you to care about this. I know that you know Lateef Idris. So Lateef was following up, reporting on this story about Koko Anyiroho having been arrested following that. And so that sent him asking questions. And this is what they did to our dear colleague because he was simply doing his work. Let's share with you, first of all, appreciate what we're talking about. Here we go.
Slapping me here and there, so I shouted and called him, Joel. Joel, he came and I asked him to start filming. He raised his camera and he started doing something. Some of them also pounced on him and pulled him away. So then they pushed me into the main building and it got crazy.
So all this happened outside?
Yeah.
Outside there?
What I narrated happened outside in front of the main CID headquarters. Then they pushed me into the main compound and it was nasty. They were just joining in numbers. Whoever comes, slaps, hits me, kick me with the foot.
Were they questioning you? What?
I kept telling the one who was leading this whole thing that, can you ask the guy who started this whole thing what I've done to him, what crime I've committed? They wouldn't.
Lateef, in all this, did they know who you were? Did they know you were a journalist? Did you have your tag and everything on? Did they know that?
I didn't have my tag, but I had explained to the first guy that I'm getting ready to go live on JoyNews Prime. Okay. I had my live equipment with me.
So at least they should be able to tell that.
No, so they pushed me in there and they joined and beat me up with sticks, with their legs, with the back of the guns hitting my. Yesterday I asked him to take a shot of that. They hit me with the back of the gun about 3 times at the back of my head here. They hit me with sticks in my rib. Those who...
What kind of sticks? Is it a baton they were holding on?
This one is just ordinary stick. One of them he was just hitting it here. Those who were hitting me with their legs were doing it. Those who were slapping me from left, right, center.
You can't tell how many these police officers were?
There were about 10 of them. And one of them came around and said, I know this guy. He's been working with Kofi.
Who is Kofi?
I don't know the Kofi he was talking about. Then one of them said, yes, we know him.
One was able to identify you as a journalist.
One. Then one of them, who was one among those who were beating me, then said, yes, we know him. So they knew that I'm a journalist. So he came in and pulled me out of there. But then I had to squat because I felt dizzy at the point. So I had to squat for a while. Then he held my hand. And I kept asking, can you ask the guy the crime I have committed to be treated like some hardened criminal who has been arrested by a mob or something? They wouldn't listen. So he pulled me outside. When we got at the main gate, he pushed me and asked me to leave. So I feel the pains in my head because that's where they used the butt of the gun to hit, and my rib, and in my right leg, and my chest.
They hit your chest too?
Yeah, they were hitting me all over, so
these are the areas you feel pain, but generally, how are you feeling?
My neck as well, yeah, because of the slaps, you know.
What has the doctor been telling you?
He was very worried yesterday night when I got here, so he said we're going to run some x-rays and then it will inform him whether to detain me again or let me go today.
That's Lateef Idris, who is still at the hospital. And it's unbelievable that this continues to happen. This continues to happen. People, and this is police we're talking about. Really? Ghana police? So here's a minister who knows Lateef Idris. And Lateef Idris wasn't even reporting on something that has to do with mining or galamsey or anything of the sort. But you know, John Peter Amewu has a very good relationship with him because of the works that he does. Indeed, our latest documentary, the one that we showed Monday, Tuesday, was produced by Lateef Idris, and it had something to do with John Peter Amewu's ministry or the work that they do. But this is so unrelated because he was reporting on a different thing. But he visited him when he heard the news. Wow. And here's a little bit of the visit.
He's still working, you know. Even here, I'm working, Lateef. You're working, huh? I can see you working there. Oh, no. Oh, my brother. How is it? You're fine, you're fine. Yes, your team was with me this morning, and I ended up going to them too. This is unfortunate, you know. You're right. The good thing is that you are strong, you know. Some excesses. There's something around here because of our friendship.
So that's John Peter Amewu, who is the Natural Resources Minister, Lands Minister, visiting our colleague Lateef Idris. But I mean, shame onto the police, the entire police force. We haven't heard you say anything till now. This is not the first time, because Emmanuel Ante is also another colleague who was beating. And this has implications, though, long term, because Emmanuel's own happened like what, 5 years ago, and he still suffers. You know, there's still it's on and off, and they beat Lateef in mercilessly, hit him with whatever it is, and shame onto like an entire, like a police officer who is a police officer, well-built policeman who's got all the equipment. You've got a gun, you've got things, and you're beating somebody who has nothing. Shame on you if you do that. Really, how can you? Somebody who doesn't have anything, or all he has is a microphone, and you have all the equipment. You are a police officer, for crying out loud, and you beat someone, granted, even if he wasn't
somebody
a journalist.
Somebody who is vulnerable, rather.
Exactly. I mean, what's the right thing to do if that person has done something wrong? As a policeman, you have no rights. No right. We don't pay you so that you beat people. Take the person through due process. There's something called due process. And I thought that that's what police officers are taught to do.
Yes.
You're not taught to just beat somebody up for whatever reason, And it's a big shame and it's big indictments on the entire police force, really. And we're expecting that you will have something. Don't just come and apologize. We're waiting to see what you will do. Police is supposed to be, you're supposed to be our friends. You're supposed to be protecting us. We're supposed to be running to you. You know, like, let other people chase and want to beat up Lateef and let Lateef run to you for protection. And it's not the other way.
And you know, one of their main means by which they have to undertake their work is to develop that cordial relationship with the public.
Yeah.
And we really, even though we're journalists and members of the public.
Christ.
So if
Who does that?
Who does that? If we can take solace in the bosom of those who keep the public peace, then where else can the ordinary citizen?
Mr. President celebrating his birthday today, and I'm making a passionate appeal. Eugene Ahin is a communications director at the president. Eugene, you know Lateef very well, and I'm sure that you can appreciate how he works. And for the police to have done this to him, we're waiting and we're watching. Now, we don't want any pretenders. We don't want anybody, like Mr. Peter Mewu said, we don't want anybody pretending. We want to deal with this matter. We want to go strongly on it. We will be police. Anyway, this is where we have to end there.
Yeah, but we wish Lateef Idris speedy recovery. We hope that what has happened to him is not fatal in terms of, it's not terminal or it's not going to be chronic.
You know, that's a problem. It's hard
not going
to
say
when
because at the end of the day,
when they just hit you, about 10 people on you, somebody who wasn't armed, he didn't have a bomb,
and he did nothing to deserve the treatment that was meted out.
What happened to those who actually entered a courtroom with a judge and decided to cause chaos? What happened to them? And somebody who has a microphone, somebody you could identify.
That's so sad. It's so sad. The state of policing in our country.
It's terrible. It's terrible. We keep recording these things, and it must stop. It must stop. Mr. President, happy birthday to you.